to round 4 of 7 here for this SCG Super IQ today, hosted by Nerd Rage Gaming. I'm your host, Andrew Donnelly, with me, my co-host, Matt Dowen. We'll get into some regulars you guys probably know if you followed the stream. That's going to be Chris Smith and Marc Castillo. Already deep into the action here. His round has begun a little late for us in the booth.
Wizards Event Reporter is a train wreck.
Yeah, Wizards Event Reporter does not do us any good here when it's acting crazy. This will be round 4, correct?
Yep, Marc. Both players 3-0. Marc playing Jeskai Control while Chris is playing Merfolk.
Yep.
Oh.
So it looks like the action already started without us, as we've seen a Silvergill Adept eat a mana leak.
And then a Mirror Regery here from Chris, which I imagine is going to also die in some way, shape, or form.
I like the fact that Mr. Castillo decided to play some Jeskai Control. I'm really interested to see how this deck plays out for him.
He's going to V-click. Imagine targeting Chris. Chris is going to show him a hand of Vapor Snag, Spreading Seas, Dismember, Merfolk of the Pearl Trident.
Not a lot of creatures.
Master of the Pearl Trident.
Sure. He is a Master of the Pearl Trident.
Not a Merfolk of the Pearl Trident.
That is a Merfolk doing his jab.
So I kind of like taking the Merfolk.
Yeah.
Spreading Seas is kind of annoying because it kind of cuts us off white mana on the Colonnade plus a threat. But we have Vendilion Click to be a threat.
In all honesty, I'm probably ripping away Marc's Singular Mountain from him.
Really?
Taking the Colonnade is okay because it removes the potential threat later on in the game.
Sure.
I just don't want him to have access to red mana.
Yeah, that's...
Hold on. Maybe not. You might be right, because there's also the potential here for Geist to come out and just cause issues, but we can kind of block down Geist if we make our Merfolk big enough.
Yeah, Marc not playing any Geists also.
No,
you
no
don't
Geist
know
in
that.
the main deck?
No.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out if people are going to play that. I mean, he's not really good unless he's backed up by Resto Angel in the format right now. But see, this is what I have a problem with. It's like, our Merfolk just got eaten. No damage to players yet, huh?
Well, Chris is going to be at 17 now.
Oh, yeah, he got attacked from the V-click, I'm sorry.
So, Marc bottomed to Spreading Seas, Chris drew a Spreading Seas. So, justice.
So now I think here's where we just start attacking the mana base, unfortunately. We need to draw cards, and Spreading Seas is really the only thing that gives us that.
There's the Anticipate. After Chris attempted to cast a Curse Catcher.
Is that just more permission and lands for Marc?
Yeah, Marc saw a Plains.
Yeah.
So, and looks like a Mana Leak and a Cryptic Command.
Sure.
I think you just have to take the land here. So, I don't think he has another red source, though. Does have another white source. He did draw that, so. Chris is just going to play a Master and pass back. So, got some guys now. Which I think is probably correct. You want to start getting a clock.
Trying to build a board state.
Yeah, rips a lightning bolt. What a savage lucker. This guy. Can you be any luckier?
It's Mr. Castillo. See, so this is why haven't we Spreading Seas that mountain?
Well, I think we're going to. Marc didn't take a land off that Anticipate. So now going to be able to shut a land down. But we don't have too much pressure here. Spreading Seas. Target your mountain. Draw a card. A Lord would be excellent.
And there is rewarded by one.
Does Marc have a counterspell?
Yeah, he does.
I think he has Snapcaster and Remand.
He doesn't have Mana Leak?
I don't believe so. No, see? No counterspell from Marc.
Wow, alright. He's going to take 2.
So Marc going to go to 18. Chris at 14.
There we go.
Yeah.
That seems right. Now they've got it.
Marc going to draw. Really looking for a land. I don't think that was it. He has a Snapcaster that he can Snapcaster and do nothing with.
Yeah, that seems...
I guess him can't even block. I guess he could block Lord of Atlantis. Marc going to attack Chris to 11.
Chris has I think, a pretty solid play next turn of running out a Lord.
Marc drew a Path to Exile for the turn, so he will be able to kill something. It's going to Path now. Well, Chris can't vapor snag his own guy.
Yep. How you feel about those basics?
I think they're foreign black bordered, so not a huge fan.
No,
But
don't like
they're at
those either.
least nicer than the those unglued lands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
I also like the islands that have like the beta islands with the sunset in the background.
The Mark Pool ones?
Yeah,
Those are nice
those
islands.
pretty islands. They're so expensive. They're like $5 a basic. Gonna attack. Gonna
There's a
snapcaster.
Because now we don't have a way to deal with this guy, and he can block down that Mutavault pretty successfully. This will be a Vapor Snag, though, on the snap.
Yeah, we could potentially vapor snag that, or we could vapor snag V-click. I don't know how awful trading is.
I think I want to keep my Mutavault alive as long as I can.
We could vapor snag them both, to be fair.
We could.
You could also dismember and then vapor snag.
Yeah, we take 4 from that, though. Yeah, I think that's the play. We at least get in for damage then, right?
Yeah. And we now have Remand, I think, in his hand for backup.
So that'll put Mark's going down
Maybe he
to
doesn't. Maybe he's not
14.
playing Remand.
Oh, baby. Look who's making his second appearance tonight.
Sick.
That's pretty good.
Now we're going to draw a card. Oh, buddy.
Oh, jeez. He's done it.
Draws.
Mark nodding his head, saying, Sig River Cutthroat. He's a champion.
Mark really needs to find a land.
He does.
That's not a land.
He's host here. He always... Oh, God. I don't... See, that's the problem. I don't think Chris is going to Vapor Snag the V-Click, because Mark can just target himself with it.
Sulfur Falls. There we go. So now we can Snapcaster... Lightning
Snapcaster Bolt seems good, yeah. If I'm Chris, I think I'm spreading seas. we're going to clip that other red land
Yeah, I don't
next
think he has
turn.
spreading seas, though.
We don't have another one? I thought we had 2.
No,
Oh, we have 2 Vapor Snags?
Yeah. Yeah, Chris really needed Mark to not hit a Sulfur Falls there.
Right.
Any other land, I think, is fine. Sulfur Falls not so good because it allows him to snap bolt. He also has Cryptic. Ugh. God.
Mark Castillo's got Cryptic Command?
Yeah.
Oh, that's savage. It's good. Cryptic Command is good, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. Very, very much so. But he can't cast it in the face of this Curse Catcher, so he needs to find another land.
It's going to be down to 8.
Reading that card. I don't know what that card is, though.
Which one?
Is this a Resto?
That's a
That's
Johnny
a
Vengeance.
Johnny Vengeance.
Oh, jeez. Helix you? What do you do here? You want to Helix or you want to tap something down? You can tap the Vault down.
Yeah. I'd probably just Helix.
Helix the Sig?
Yeah, how many times can we Helix without plussing?
Once.
Dang.
So he is. He's
Yeah,
going to take the line of Helix the Sig.
I kind of just like Helixing Chris, and then next turn snap bolting him.
Okay. So that's a pretty aggressive approach.
Be aggressive.
I mean,
There's a Monastery Siege.
a Johnny Vengeance is not a non-aggressive card to begin with. I mean, that card is nothing but aggressive.
Well, Johnny Vengeance, I imagine, is going to be dead this turn.
I would think so. He really can't. You can't leave him alive.
I think Chris needs to probably Vapor Snag this V-Click at some point.
Yeah.
We cast a Monastery Siege. See what he chooses to name. Probably like Cons.
It's going to choose
Name
dragons. Interesting.
He's got a hand that kind of sucks. His hand kind of sucks.
It's not the best.
You know? I could see ditching a Dismember. That doesn't feel very good right now.
Do we want to Vapor Snag the V-Click? We're going to kill the Johnny one way or another. He's dead. He was kind of sacrificial. Mark just gave himself a way to remove the Sig and get a little life back.
Chris deciding not to Vapor Snag.
Does Mark play Karanos in the main board? Is
No.
that a card he has?
It is not.
Is it in the side?
It is not.
Wow, really? Card seems so good. Why are we not playing that?
It's good against Jund. and other control decks. So now Chris is going to Vapor Snag, which, if you're going to Vapor Snag now, you might as well just Vapor Snag when your opponent is tapped out.
Sure.
You also could Dismember, but that's a lot of damage.
Yeah,
then we just lose to Snap Bolt, Snap Bolt. So Dismember it is.
Dropping down to 4 after that?
Cast Snapcaster. Gonna target Mana Leak. Gonna Mana Leak it. Okay. That's cool.
Okay, so he hasn't...
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'll Vapor Snag it.
Still at 8.
Well, now he's at 4. He did have to pay the mana. He is gonna have to Vapor
That's
Snag.
true.
I don't think he can go to 1. Alright, Chris is gonna go to 1. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this one.
Yeah, this seems tough. Is this before damage?
Right, so no, he's gonna Mana Leak or Vapor Snag it instead. Gonna stay at 4. Marc's gonna go to 16 off the Vapor Snag. So Chris needs a set of some miracles here.
You get to draw and discard.
Island is not one. I think we're gonna on the old pay 5 for our Silver Gillet. Get a 2/1 draw card.
That seems bad. Especially when we have to pay 5. Seems not good. Marc really piloting well around the Merfolk list. Playing to his deck's strengths. I mean, definitely.
Yeah, the pile of removal.
Yeah, the pile of removal and the Ajani Vengeance that Chris had to attack. Otherwise, the card just gets out of hand.
Boom, Silver Gillet up, draw a card. That's right. I get a 2/1 and I get a draw card.
Card costs 5 mana to play because we had no Merfolk in hand. What do we draw?
Another
island. Is that another island?
Ship it back. Now we just die. If Marc has a untapped plains, we are dead. It's not. Marc is using the tap your team draw card mode?
I would think so. I mean, the potential to draw the bolt is there, as he left the Sulfur Falls on tap.
Yeah. But, I mean, it costs... Well, I wonder if he... How does Cryptic Command read? We might need to call it Judge. How does it read? Does it say target player?
Tap
target
all creatures target player controls.
Okay, so Marc needs to pay 7 to target Chris, or 6, because the Dragon's effect from Monastery Siege says target spells that target player cost 2 more.
Costs an additional 2.
Yeah. But, I mean, he drew the Desolate Lighthouse. So
he just drew and played the Desolate Lighthouse, right? So I think that was a misread by both players there.
Yeah, I think Chris is just dead anyways, and it's not going to matter.
As Celestial Colonnade can now do its job. Oh no, we're still missing that white, like you said.
I think he found a Sacred Foundry.
Did we?
Yeah. He's going to shock.
Yep.
And he's going to fire up his Colonnade.
There we go. Okay, so Chris...
All right.
I think you're right. Chris
I'm going to go tell them that.
Let that drop.
Let you handle the sideboarding.
Alrighty, I'll take the sideboarding for you guys as Matt runs out and has a quick discussion with the players in the feature match area. Let's take a look at Chris's sideboard as he was the first one to drop a game. He is running 1 Spell Pierce, 1 Swan Song, 2 Unified Will, 2 Dispel, 2 Seize Claim, 1 Hibernation, 1 Monastery Siege, 3 Tidebinder Mages, and 2 Spell Skites. We can probably safely assume he's going to bring in the 2 Spell Skites, allow them to dodge some removal, soak up some bolts and whatnot from Marc's deck, as well as eat the Lightning Helixes provided by the Ajani Vengeance. I could also assume he's bringing in any number of counterspells here. Spell Pierce, Dispel, all very good against the Jeskai control unit. His main board probably going to just remain unchanged. He's going to kind of attack it the way Merfolk normally attacks it. Did you hit them up there?
They were aware of the interaction. Cryptic Command apparently reads tap creatures opponent's control.
Tap tap all creatures opponent's
Opponent's
control.
control. So you
Oh,
don't target.
interesting. So you do not target.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they got it.
interesting.
We should have pulled the card up.
Good for you.
but-
Yeah, next time. Next time we will. Next time we'll be less lazy and just assume
Yeah.
that I know what's going on with most blue magic. So we went over the sideboard for Chris. The Merfolk list. I said Spellskite's probably coming in. The Spell Pierces, the Dispels. That's really all I could think of. I don't know if there's anything else there I'd really want to bring in. Unified Will, maybe, as it acts as like...
It's a counterspell, right?
Yeah, it acts as a almost better counterspell for Chris.
Monastery Siege, potentially.
I just don't know if I want to give up a slot. Like, what am I... Unfortunately, this is an area... We already have 2 main board. This isn't an area where I want to remove a lot of the spreading seas.
Vapor Snags are bad. Dismembers are bad.
Sure. So that's
7 cards. We
Right.
have Spell Pierce, Unified Will, Dispel, Monastery Siege, Spellskite, potentially Swan Song.
Yeah. It's all there. We'll take a look at the sideboard for Mr. Castillo's deck. It's going to be 1 Stony Silence, 3 Molten Rain, 2 Negate, 2 Timely Reinforcement, 2 Anger of the Gods, 2 Wear and Tear, 1 Celestial Purge, 1 Dispel, and 1 Jace, Architect of Thought. Whew. Timely Reinforcement seems like an okay card here, actually.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Though his life total almost remained unchanged. How do you feel about Anger in this matchup?
I think it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Jay seems fine too.
Really? You're going to bring in the Architect here?
Mm-hmm.
Just for the +1?
Prevents some damage. Allows you
Yeah.
also, if you can control the board, to start getting ahead.
I think my problem is that we definitely gave up our Ajani, I feel like, too easily last game. And I don't know if I want to do that again. Like that's kind of my issue. When I invest into a Planeswalker, I want to make sure it sticks around for a little bit. I understand that like there are going to be occasions where you're just giving them up. But in that situation, like if I'm playing Jace, if I'm investing 4 mana on a Planeswalker, I want it to stick around.
That's fair, but I think Jace has a fair chance of sticking around.
Of just surviving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's anything where Chris can't resolve if Chris can't resolve another Lord or something like that, yeah, you're 100% right. I don't know. Is this a matchup where once again you think Merfolk is favored over the control deck?
I don't particularly think so. Marc has like a million removal spells.
He does. He has a lot of removal spells.
So where Jeff's Hoogan's deck was a bunch of counter spells,
Right.
This is just a pile of removal spells and very few counter spells.
Yeah, hard for the creatures to stick around.
Yeah. That will be the challenge.
The game took a pretty good amount of time. We're almost 30 minutes into the round here. Well, almost down to 30 minutes.
20 minutes in a row.
20 minutes in the round.
I think Merfolk is ridiculously good against like miracles in Legacy though.
Why do you say that?
Just seems like really good matchup for you.
I played against Chris every now and then. It's fairly good if they get a decent board state.
Especially the Chalice version.
The Chalice version was incredibly good. That's what Chris played for a while in Legacy. And yes, the Chalice version is very good. Yeah.
Like he played top 16 the 5K in Columbus playing
The Merfolk Chalice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
He
definitely
beat every
a strong
Miracles
deck.
player. He beat a Miracles player on like a mold of 5 or a 4 or something like that.
Yeah, not surprising. Chalice of the Void, very good against Miracles. Very, very good.
So he's on a Merfolk kick now after playing Jund for a while and all that stuff in Modern.
This is the first time I think I've seen Mr. Castillo play Modern. I know he plays the format, just the first time we've had him on stream, I think, actually playing.
Yeah. We don't stream very many Modern events, so that
No,
makes sense.
not at all.
Yeah, Marc's been bouncing around too. He was let's see, he was playing Grixis Delver. I saw him play that. Then he played Twin at the Invitational.
Okay.
He may have also played that at the Modern Open. And then was like trying to play some Amulet Bloom deck. He had it proxied out, and now he's on Jeskai control.
I really like this deck, too. I like the Jeskai control list.
I don't know if Mark is of the school of he's going to bounce around from deck to deck. Doesn't really seem to be that type of guy to me. He plays Esper Dragons and has played that deck pretty much since the last PT. So
Good at that deck as well. He has a pretty good record in FNM.
So that doesn't look like a great hand from Chris. Doesn't have an island.
His triple Curse Catcher?
Yeah.
All right.
Triple Curse Catcher, no island.
Jeez.
We have there was an island there, I would probably have kept
Would you have
that.
kept that hand?
If it had Curse Catcher,
Island.
Mutavault,
Yeah.
Island.
Spreading Seas, Dispel, something.
Well, that's 8 cards.
X, whatever. You never know. You never know what might be going on in Chris's head. He might say, "Hey, look,
Look at this. I drew 8 cards.
I drew.
See
That's
if
it.
I can get
I
away with it."
already drew him. Time to play him."
Scumbag Chris.
Scumbag Chris.
All right, Chris on a mulligan to 6. Mark, he's keeping his 7. All right, well, there's the land. So we have 2 dispels, Aether Vial.
Double Curse Catcher?
I don't think we. Is that a Lord on the end or another island?
It might be an island, but I don't think so because I thought he had all matching islands in the.
It could be one of
deck.
the, like.
Oh, it could be Place in the Clouds.
Yeah,
Ouroboros.
Palace in the Clouds. Oboro. Palace in the Clouds.
Ouroboros? Or
I
just
believe it's Oboro.
Ouroboros.
Oboro. Palace in the
Ouroboros
Clouds.
Palace in the Clouds. Or Manano.
Bam, there's another counterspell, Unified Will. How does that one read?
Unified Will?
Yeah.
Let's pull it up.
Let's do it. Let's get the exact text on it so we don't make a cryptic command mistake.
Oh, come on. Unified Will reads, Blue 1, instant, counter target spell if you control more creatures than that spell's controller.
Yeah, that card seems insane in this deck.
Yeah, that seems very good.
We're not going to shock. He's at 18. This is the kind of draw Chris wants if he had, like, an actual creature.
Sure. If you had creatures
get
that
him.
dealt damage. What'd we do?
He just...
Pump fake the Mutavault?
Yeah.
Or pump fake the Aether Vial?
Yeah.
I like it.
There's another land. Yeah, the Aether Vial hand's not exactly the ones that you want to just draw a bunch of lands with.
So what, are those not Curse Catchers we have in hand? Are those
No,
Dispels?
they're 2 Dispels
Oh,
and a Unified
jeez.
Will. So a lot of nothing going on here. Mark, though, kind of looks like he's doesn't have a 3rd land.
That's probably not good.
And if my opponent doesn't, my control opponent doesn't have a 3rd land and is just going to discard,
Wow.
I mean, he could have bolted our face.
Rip it. Island.
Island, boom,
Oh.
and we're doing it.
Savage rips.
This is a game of Magic, folks. Lightning Helix you.
I like it.
Sure, dude. It's cool, man. Hopefully you don't hit a 3rd land before I hit a creature. Mark's at 21. He draws. It's not a land. It's Electrolyze, I believe. Chris draws.
That's our next.
It's a Spell Pierce. Pretty good against your opponent who is stuck on 2 lands, but still not a creature.
Played Cavernous Souls. What do you think he named?
Merfolk. Illusion or Merfolk?
Oh.
Alright. Chris, I imagine, going to pass back with his 4 counterspells in hand. Mark, he's going to bolt Chris at the end step. If I'm Chris, I'm ecstatic. I just would love to have a creature. Mark. What a savage lucker.
Whoop.
Chris draws, and...
Oh, is that a Silvergill?
It's a Silvergill.
Oh, man.
Let's play
super
full
good.
retail, baby!
No, what?
it's
Just
Vial.
snap it in.
Yeah, I guess we could Vial. Do we get the trigger?
Yes.
Is
of
it
course.
enters the
When
battlefield
When it
trigger?
enters the battlefield, yes, sir.
Boom, man, we get a draw a card.
That's what you want.
Crack. Marked at 20.
We can slap it in at the end of Mark's turn.
We got a clock now.
Yeah, we
Clock
do.
backed up by all this permission.
So good.
If only it was not a 10-turn clock.
No, if we play a Lord, we're in a pretty good spot.
Mark kind of shocked there, so he's going to be at 18.
Oh, wow.
Going to
He's
cut that
taking-
clock off. I think he's
taking
going to
a
electrolyze Chris.
A little bit here. Wants to draw the card most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a foil electrolyze? Good on you, Mark. Good on you. Card looks sick in foil.
I don't know. If I'm Chris, I'm probably just not even countering.
I don't
any of these
I don't know if
things.
I'm worrying about this that much.
But this cantrips, so that's kind of annoying.
All right, yeah.
I'm going to ride this Silver Girl up to victory. 9 turns. Mark draws, I think, a Ghost Quarter. Finds another land, so he's going to hit his land drops.
Silvergill Adept. Oh, in response.
Oh, get V-clicked.
Oh, jeez. We can counter this, though.
No, we can't.
Oh,
Unified
God.
Will says if you
If you
creatures.
control more creatures. Oh, no. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Man, they never play around V-click. You got to get him with it once,
Yeah,
and then
you
you'll
always
play
have
around it.
All right.
So Chris could have played around that by when Marc tapped out for the Electrolyze by
Sure.
playing his Silvergill, by violating his Silvergill Adept. I mean, Chris could just draw, and it could just be a 2.
I was about to say, if it's a 2-drop, he can still put it into play. It is not.
It's not. It's a Mutavault.
Oh, jeez.
This is Spreading Seas. That cantrips. No, that's not a Mutavault. That's a Minamo. All right.
So we've got all the sweet legendary Kamigawa land in play that is doing nothing for us.
All right. Let's cast this Spreading Seas. Let's turn your Colonnade into an island.
Yeah, seems okay.
Draw a card.
Get there, creature. Silvergill? It's a Vapor Snag? Or is that a Spreading Seas again?
I think that's a Master of the Pearl Trident.
Is that what it is?
Either way, we're at 12, and Marc has a 3/1 flyer.
Yeah, it's not good.
And we have a handful of counter spells.
Permission that targets nothing but spells.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, he's found a red source.
I don't know if it's a Vapor Snag or not. It's hard to say.
It is hard. It was hard to see.
Yeah, it's not a Merfolk. I think it's a Vapor Snag. Just kind of odd. That card seems very bad in this matchup. Hey, look, another island.
Blue Sun Zenith, are you here? Are you ready to come out and give me 4 cards at instant speed? Oh, this is probably not going to go well for Chris here.
Interesting. Marc could have flashed in Resto and killed Chris this turn, I think.
Really?
Yeah. He could have activated Colonnade. Oh, that's right.
No,
the Colonnade has been spreading seas.
Colonnade is now an island. This will be at 6.
Never mind.
Oh.
Trigger. Get him. Oh, we got him.
Oh,
yeah.
Get there.
Oh, baby. We're doing it.
Is he bouncing the V-click?
Bounce the V-click.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
This is it. Chris is like, uh-huh.
Target you.
So in response, if that's a Vapor Snag, do you Vapor Snag the Angel?
You could also Vapor Snag the click.
I want to Vapor Snag the Angel. I don't think I care about the click. There you go. Okay, target
yeah.
you. Oh, we didn't do it, though.
I imagine you just say, you can keep all of these cards.
Marc's laughing, Chris shaking his head. Oh, man, the get you plays. That was a good play. Doesn't have to pick. We going to cast that Vapor Snag? We're not?
Nah.
Come on. You got to do something.
Boom. Is it draw land?
Yeah.
Is it Spreading Seas?
It looked like an island.
No,
Nope.
Monastery
Oh.
Siege. A little too late on that one.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to ditch some of these lands.
Oh my gosh, this Merfolk deck's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands in play, 2 of which are legendary.
With an Aether Vial.
Yeah. Oh, this is not where you want to be if you're Chris Smith.
No.
Marc Castillo, however, I'm impressed with this Jeskai control deck. This thing seems pretty solid. He's 3-0.
I mean, Chris has drawn like absolute garbage.
Understandable. Yes, I'm just saying, as the whole of the deck is looking at it, it's not bad, man.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. And we've seen some pretty bad decks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we watched a Boggles Pox matchup where the Boggles player won. So I don't know what was going on there.
I don't know either. All right, we got a Khan's Monastery Siege.
It's doing it. It's going to draw some cards. Is this beginning? Upkeep?
We're going to upkeep Vapor Snag.
Sure. What do we want to
We'll put
target?
you to 16.
V-click. Bye-bye.
Marc has timely reinforcements. So this is the case of, usually in Modern, if you draw your sideboard cards, you win. Chris drew all of his sideboard cards here.
It is just losing.
None of his
Didn't
good
draw
main
any of
dex
the
cards,
main board
the
cards?
things that attack, I lost. I can't think of a sequence of cards that allows Chris to win this game. I don't think they exist. If he draws Vapor Snag,
Is that a...
well, he missed his trigger.
Wait a minute. No, he's resolving it right now.
Is it draw, discard, draw another one?
I think it's draw, discard, draw another one.
I thought it was
Correct.
draw 2, discard.
Do you do it at your draw step?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's draw 2 cards and discard 1. I think he drew 2 more Mutavaults.
He drew a Mutavault and a Cavern of Souls.
Yeah.
Chris
Okay.
Smith saying, that's it. I'm going to scoop it up here.
That was probably one of the worst draws I've ever